Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Marion County Community Redevelopment Agency Board. If you will please take your seats. We do have a meeting at this point in time. Again, this is the Marion County Community Redevelopment Area Agency Board. Those of you who are here for the 2 o'clock zoning, if you'll please take your seat. We will get started with that shortly behind this meeting. So if you'll all please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Madam Clerk, if you'll please call roll.
Chairman Stone?
Here.
Vice Chairman Moore?
Here.
Commissioner Bryant? Commissioner Gold?
Here.
Commissioner Zalek?
Here.
Thank you. Okay, Commissioners, we have a set of minutes to adopt.
So moved. Second.
We've got a motion by Commissioner Zalek, second by Commissioner Moore. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes unanimously. And Mr. Risen, I'll turn it to you.
Okay. Chris Rising with the Growth Services staff. Our first item is the request to schedule and advertise our 2019 meeting schedule for the CRA. We've maintained a consistent schedule with what we have done for the last couple of years, meeting on the third Tuesday of each month at 1:50 p.m. With an adjustment in October, which would be the budget consideration for the CRA itself. So staff is recommending approval of that, the preferred recommendation. Oh, and the proof of publication, just in case.
I have a proof of publication of legal ad number A000927725 entitled Notice of 2018 Regular Meeting Schedule, Marion County Community Redevelopment Agency, published in the Star Banner newspaper on March 1st, 2018.
Thank you. So, Mr. Risen, you're recommending that we approve the annual meeting schedule?
Correct. The recommended schedule, which is on the left side in the table provided for your item.
I'll bring it back to the board.
So moved. Second.
We got a motion by Commissioner Gold, second by Commissioner Moore. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously.
Our next item is a request for authorization, approval and authorization for the chairman to go ahead and execute a special detail agreement with the Sheriff's Department to provide for the additional and supplemental community policing for the CRA. We have budgeted $60,000 for that event within our CRA budget. Staff is currently proposing an estimated amount where it would be approximately 4 hours per day, 5 days per week, as an amount which would be $59,200, which is just short of the $60,000 budgeted in our current amendment, and that would provide coverage essentially through the end of the fiscal year. However, if the commission would like to, we can actually increase that amount to an extent, potentially to, for instance, an average of 5 hours per day, 5 days per week. We would need to do a budget amendment, which we could do in a timely manner for that if the commission did want to do that. In discussions with sheriff's staff, they would have a flexible floating schedule of when they would do it, so there would not be a fixed time, so that there would not be a learning curve within the community. They would shift the hours, shift the days, and so on for how they would do that visitation for it, so that there wouldn't be a predictability to it for the area, and they'd move through the area. And they would work as a pair of deputies together to provide backup to each other and support for security situations.
Okay. I'll bring it back to the board. Commissioner Golden?
One question, what would be the additional amount if we added 1 more hour to it? Did you have that number?
Yes, that's the 5 days per week, 5 hours per day. That's the bottom one. That's the $74,000 is the estimate. And that would require approximately $15,000 budget adjustment, which we do have those funds in the budget that we could switch over.
For the board discussion, trying to be careful how I say this, it might be a good thing to look at there, because if there are arrests made or anything like that, you've got about an hour to a 2-hour transport back and forth. So it might give them a couple more hours to work in there. That 1 hour might make a difference on there. Something to think about.
Mr. Eisen?
And one thing that was pointed out in our discussions with the deputies is they would kind of gear it towards the sheriff. That deputy that would normally be on call for that district would actually come and if there was an arrest, they would pick up that arrestee and bring them back to the services so that those deputies on staff would then stay in that physical area, which is the goal of the CRA, which is keeping that community policing presence in the community itself.
And then I also asked Mr. Risen, I talked to Kemp Spivey, the sheriff's office, to make sure that this activity is generated, that we have a copy of it to see that something is being done during that time frame. Now, this is a set amount here, this doesn't, I know on some contracts they do mileage and that, but this is the set amount per hour, correct?
This is their detail rate is what they would be charging for it, which is the $40 per hour rate. Although if there was a holiday, then it would be a $50 amount, but those are on a few limited days.
That's the break.
So, part of the money I know goes to the vehicle, to the insurance, and then the deputy gets,
That's our understanding.
pay all that, yes, sir.
Well, I'll move the recommendation.
Second.
Okay, so what are you
Which
recommending?
recommendation for the 5 hours?
No, the CRA doesn't have that much money, so I don't wanna,
I mean,
Well,
that's
drain
something
it.
can
with all due
be
respect, I mean, I
enhanced.
don't wanna spend more money unless we need it. I'd like to see how this works out with what we have budgeted. If we need more hours, or we feel like, you know, the sheets come back and we need more time, then
Fair
I'm
enough.
more than happy to bump it up.
Fair to me.
All right, so the motion is by Commissioner Zalek to accept 4 days a week, 5 days out of the week with 2 deputies for 40 hours at
And-
$59,200.
And
hours.
that is a flexible amount
Right.
that they
4
can
hours.
adjust
Right.
throughout, right?
If need be, yes, sir.
5 at 4.
5 at
days,
4,
4.
there you go. Thank you so much. Okay, so that motion was by Commissioner Zalek, second by Commissioner Moore. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously.
And at this point, that would conclude our CRA agenda for the day. We will be back with our quarterly meeting with a number of items that we're looking at, and also with our CDBG programs as coordination.
Okay, do we have any other new business for the CRA agency this afternoon? If not, this meeting will be adjourned, and thank you.